Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. My name is Dr. Evelis Capo, and today we're talking about how to stock your pantry, how to stock your kitchen for COVID-19. So as we know, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends having at least a 2-week supply of food at your home. And so we know that by cooking our meals, we allow for better control of what the quality of the ingredients that we're going to add to our recipes and our meals. So that's definitely very important. And many of us have practiced in stocking up for storms and hurricanes and other situations. But we know with this pandemic situation is a little different because we do have, for the most part, access to water and electricity and gas. So there are things that we can keep available in our refrigerator. So physical distancing and quarantines doesn't mean that we have to live off of canned soup and processed products. And actually, we encourage you to avoid those things because when we're trapped home and we're depressed and maybe a little anxious, we might be more prone to eating these unhealthy foods. So it's important to gather a list of high quality and nutritious foods. So number one, make sure you have the basics available. Make a list for the store and be prepared when you go to the store so you spend the least amount of time available. Or you can also order some things to be delivered to your home. So what are the must-have ingredients? Well, first of all, we know that beans are a grain staple for any type of situation year-round, but definitely for the pandemic and to have available for different emergencies. So we should have dry beans whenever possible, also canned beans or ones that are already cooked. They can be frozen or in different bags. These can be used for chilies, for burgers, added to your salad. You can even sprout the beans. So that's very important, and we always have those. Also, whole grains. Whole grains are very important. Rolled oats or steel-cut oats, which can also be part of a lot of those recipes that we talked about. Quinoa, amaranth. Just think, whole grain, so brown rice. All of those are great. And I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually pop whole grains just like you pop corn. Also, canned tomato products, such as, or I should actually say cooked tomato products. They don't have to be canned, but they can be. So canned tomato sauce, tomato paste, or salsa all come in very handy to make different soups, chilies, and stews. Also dried vegetables, such as mushrooms, things such as sun-dried tomatoes come in very handy for a lot of recipes. You may also be able to find dried carrots and things of that nature that you can use as snacks. Nut seeds and butters are very important because we want to have the healthy fats. So I always keep on hand some walnuts, sunflower seeds, just pick your favorites. And condiments and spices, because we have all these wonderful ingredients, but what do we actually season our foods with? So I always have some chili powder, curry powder, pumpkin spice or smoked paprika are things that we can use as well. So smoked paprika we can use to give that smoky taste to a lot of the recipe. Pumpkin spice is a shortcut because it has cinnamon and cloves, but you can also have those individually, as well as onion powder. I always keep a variety of different vinegars, such as balsamic, either the traditional dark balsamic or the white balsamic, as well as some tamari to flavor some of the recipes. So those are always great. So we're talking about pantry and things that don't need to be refrigerated. There are some fruits and vegetables that don't need to be refrigerated, and always thinking local whenever possible, such as citrus. We got our oranges, apples, mangoes. Like I live in Florida, so I can get those. I have those available. Other things such as root vegetables. So sweet potatoes, your potatoes. And by the way, potatoes and sweet potatoes, I usually cook them in batches. So I cook a large amount. And so potatoes, after they're cooked, you can use them in other dishes, such as add them to a soup or make home fries. So if they're already cooked, they love to be double cooked. Think of those things. Other things such as beets, so other root vegetables. So beets can be added to different salads, or they can be, I love to roast them and add them with butternut squash, which is another one we don't have here displayed, but it's one that I usually have available. Never fails, garlic and onions. You know, if you watch the videos, we always start our recipes with those things. So what about some other convenience foods? Certainly, if you have available to have some of these already prepared soups, that's always comes in handy, especially when you're in a rush and you need to warm something up for maybe lunch or dinner. If you're working from home, you know, you need to have some of these things. So that's perfectly fine, but just having a variety of other things that are not already prepared is also very good. Now, what about the refrigerator and the freezer? So fresh produce is always great, especially for that first week. Things usually, you know, your greens usually last for about a week without going bad. If you can buy some of the green bags to keep them from staying fresh a little longer, or some of those green containers come in handy. So also looking for alternatives to reach out to your local farmers. So if, you know, if they're having availability to delivery, you know, that's always a good option. Carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, all those can be used in different soups and stir fries. Now, we also can use our freezer. So having a variety of frozen foods is very important, especially for week 2. So I always keep some strawberries, different vegetables such as asparagus, green beans, cauliflower, as well as freezing some things such as tortillas or bread, so that you have those available and they don't go bad. Because even at my home, where we eat bread and we make different sandwiches, sometimes these breads that don't have a lot of preservatives can go bad really quickly. I love to have my pizza crust ready, because, you know, if we don't have our pizza delivered, then we can make our own with all of those. I also like to use soy curls. I know these are not available everywhere, but you can order them online, and I keep these in my freezer. I rehydrate them and use them in a variety of different recipes. So as you can see, it's totally doable. We can do this together, and we give you guys a virtual hug. Stay safe and healthy.